Good morning. Oh my gosh, excuse my state today. You are just gonna get the raw, the real, what is going on in my world today. So today I'm just gonna do a little bit of a day in the life, which is something that I've never really thought is gonna be like, it might not be that interesting for you. I never really thought it was interesting for me, but I just think it's really, you know, we've all got such different lives, particularly with the last year that's just happened. And you know, there's so many things that we probably do in our day-to-day life that actually some people will be like, oh, actually I might start doing that, or you know, that's something that's really cool, or you know, whatever. So I'm just gonna talk to you, go through my day. Today's a bit of a weird day. Obviously I was like, I'm gonna do it today, like Tuesday is the day that I'm gonna tell you sort of what's going on in my world, and of course Tuesday is the day that everything is a little bit chaotic, but I thought, you know what, that's probably just, you know, me showing you what's going on. So usually at this time I try to go outside in the morning, and it's something that I've just started doing. I used to spend a bit more time outside, and then you just get into like habits, don't you? And we've got seating outside, and you know, we had gorgeous weather back in sort of May. It's now June, and I was like, I'm gonna start doing this more often, but obviously unfortunately today it's kind of drizzly and kind of wet. So my little morning ritual that I would usually do in the garden, which is normally quite sort of like fresh air, is just not going to happen outside today. But you know, it's still going to happen. I always kind of make a bit of time to get up earlier and get started with my day. So I usually have my cup of tea. I've just boiled the kettle, so I'm going to go make that in a second. I'm just going to talk you through what I usually do when I wake up in the morning. I think it's really important to kind of wake up, have a little bit of time that's not digital, and then I get into my digital bits. So what I like to do is my diary from the day before. So you guys, I talk about this all the time, so you'll probably know that I use one line a day, which is basically like a little diary that it's a 5-year diary, and all the years go down like this. So you go to the end of the book, go back to the beginning, and then write the next bit. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to write in my diary while it's still sort of fresh from the day before. I used to fall behind with this so much, just because I would go, oh, right, tomorrow, and then you forget. Like, you don't realise how quickly days move on, particularly in lockdown. Like, I was like, there's nothing even exciting to write about. But what's really funny is now when I look back at last year's entries, it's really interesting to me just to see, like, we had no idea when we were going to come out of lockdown. You know, we were allowed to go out for 1 hour a day, and it's just really interesting to look back, even if you feel like I've not done anything today, I've not thought anything particularly exciting today, there's always something. Okay, so that is how I kind of get started with that. I'm gonna make a cup of tea now. I like to have a little tea. So as you can see, we are always renovating, like always. So we've got no like tiles in the kitchen, a few little bits here and here as well. We've actually got some renovations happening today, which is why I'm going to be working from upstairs today. But more about that in a minute. So I got my tea. And then I don't know if any of you guys have seen on my stories, but I have this Spirit Junkie card deck. So Gabrielle Bernstein is an author, but she's also kind of like into all of her attraction and all this stuff. But anyway, she does these cards that you just pull each day, and they give you like a different affirmation, different sort of like focus for the day. And I think they're really good, because sometimes I think that what I was doing was I was getting into a habit of kind of rolling out of bed and then going straight on my phone and just not really like having a bit of time just to think, right, what's my intention for today? What am I going to get done? And when I started to make those shifts, it made a massive difference. And then today's card, if you can see that, it might be a bit blurry. but it says, I seek out happy people who inspire me to be great. And this is very accurate. This is something that I actually actively do, because you get to choose in this life who you surround yourself with. Obviously, there are some people, like, I don't know, if you work with people or family or whatever, that are just gonna probably be there. However, you get to decide how much of who is in your life. So I definitely go out of my way to seek happy people that inspire me, basically. One thing that you might also notice that I do is that I post on Instagram first thing in the morning. One, because I always batch create my content so it's ready to go anyway. And two, just because it means that I can then focus on my other bits for the day. I don't have to think, oh, I need to post today and whatever. And three, it always does quite well because a lot of people wake up in the morning and the first thing they look at is their phone. So it tends to be something that pops up quite early in the morning on their feed. So I'm gonna post now. So here's the thing. One thing that I kind of talk to the girls that I work with quite a bit is that it's really important to have structure, have things done, just because then it takes the pressure off. But sometimes in the morning I'll read a caption that I want to post and I'll have thought of something in the night, or I'll think of something that I'm like, oh, actually that sounds better. So I do think it's really interesting or important to also mix in a bit of intuition. Now don't get crazy, because otherwise then you might as well just write the caption from scratch anyway. But sometimes I add in a couple of emojis, or I'll put a question at the end of it, or just something just to kind of like, when I'm feeling a bit more intuitive and in tune, I suppose. So that's something that I work on doing. But this post is basically about the fact that I hadn't read for over a year, or for about a year. I just couldn't commit to reading a book. I pick one up, put one down, pick one up, put one down, and the sort of difference that it made in my day. So I'm trying to inspire people to get back to reading because it makes such a big difference. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but I actually use different apps to create my content. And then I upload them onto Instagram when I'm ready. I already pre-picked the picture, so I know what picture I'm going to be posting, write my caption, and Bob's your uncle, off we go. Okay, so I'm going to be working from our little spare room today. Don't ask about the sofa. The sofa is there because we can't fit it in the living room because it wouldn't fit when we were trying to turn it in. And this is just where I get ready. Like, this is like my little, as you can see, this is like my little kind of mishmash dressing room. So I'm going to work from here today just because we are having the windows fitted, or like French doors fitted downstairs where I normally work. So yeah, this is my new office for today, but I'll keep you posted. The guys shouldn't be coming till sort of 9:30, but I got my first meeting at 8, so I'm gonna get ready now, get dressed, get sorted, and then get on with my day. Oh, that's better, got a bit of brightness. Okay, so we're actually kind of moving things around, as I said, because we are having French doors fitted downstairs today. So usually it doesn't look this, I mean it does actually, but yeah, just a bit chaotic. Obviously you can see that everything's kind of shifted position. We've got all like the stuff that's normally on my shelf and stuff over here, my little exercise bike. This is my little pumpkin. So for those of you that know, I've got a little hamster. I love him to pieces. Pumpkin is in there. This is my bookshelf. But obviously we've covered it up because it's going to be getting a little bit messy in here today. And then this is my desk. So usually this is obviously where I sit on this chair here, and then I've got access to like window. I do like a lot of light. Like I think you can't get too much light sort of when you're working. So yeah, but today unfortunately I'm not going to be working from here. I'm going to go just like move my laptop and like my speaker and everything upstairs, because what's happening is I've got to move this actually out of the way and then move the desk this way. So these windows are coming out, and then we're going to get French doors that go in, which means that then obviously we can just walk straight out into the garden from here, because at the moment you have to kind of go through the kitchen then through the outhouse, and it's a little bit of a fiddle to get through. So looking forward to that. Daniel's going to come down in a minute, help me move the table, and then I've got a meeting at 8 o'clock, which is in 20 minutes. 22 minutes, so not long. But yeah, looking forward to the day ahead. It's actually quite a busy one, but I'm looking forward to showing you a little bit more about what happens in my world. So we're gonna move Pumpkin upstairs. Oh, I can't see him, he's shuffling around. Thanks, Daniel. Okay. So, it's just weird to think that by the end of today, there's going to be a full door there, like an actual door. Ah! Amazing. I'm just going to be stepping out of my office, having the door open. It's going to be awesome. Just to show you, we've obviously, so we've taken the skirting boards off, these are coming out, doors go in, and then this is what we've got to deal with later. So this is obviously just like everything uprooted. I think that because we are always doing renovation bits, because that's what Daniel does as his hobby, we just get used to the fact that we have to kind of shuffle things around every now and then. So it's not the end of the world. The noise might be a bit much because I've got a few meetings and stuff today, so that might be a bit distracting, but we'll see. It'll be worth it by the end of the day anyway, so it really, really doesn't matter too much. But I will keep you posted. Cheers, good morning, girl. Okay, so currently working. Oh, I don't know if you can see there. Oh, lovely.
There we go.
Thank you. Our neighbour's just given us some flowers. It's lunchtime. And normally we would make lunch. We normally make lunch, and then if it's a nice day, we'll sit out in the garden. Or if it's a day like today, we'll just sit and catch up on some Netflix bits or whatever. But unfortunately, today, because we've got the renovations going on, it's just a bit too loud. Let's have a little sneak peek and see how they're getting on. Yeah, so we are gonna go get some lunch. We're gonna go to Greg's. I'm driving. I've only really just started driving again, so it's still always quite new to me when we're getting in the car. But yeah, gonna go grab some lunch, come back, and then on with the rest of the day. I mean, maybe not the pulling off part. Okay. We're going to Greg's. That's a lot of cream, Daniel. I've got a chai latte. This is our gorgeous view. Holiday vibes.
We in.
So we have come to Starbucks today because we've obviously got all of the construction works happening in the house, and yeah, it's just very, very loud. It's not too bad because I've got my headphones in, got my music on, like it's a vibe, I can still get things done. But every now and then you can just feel the house vibrating like crazy. So it's nice just to be able to get out, have a bit of a wander around. Obviously it's nice to have a bit of a treat every now and then, spoil yourself. So yeah, I've got a couple of things this afternoon. I've got a client call that I'm going to be doing. I've got some check-ins to do, and I'm going to make a start on some landing pages and emails that I'm writing for a client as well. Daniel is actually going to watch England play football at the park tonight. So he usually finishes work at 5, but the whole company was saying, oh, we're finishing at 4:30 because England's playing. So and he's gonna head off to the pub. But yeah, I think that what's really interesting is when you are working from home, every day is pretty similar in terms of like my routine, like my structure. It's just the content of each day. You don't necessarily know what's gonna happen each day, like who you need to speak to, who's gonna message you, who's gonna ask questions. So in that sense, there's a bit of a variety. But I think that all of us, in some way, shape or form, have adjusted to working from home in some sense, just with everything that's gone on in the past year. I think that finding my flow with it has really been about just making sure that I've got scheduled hours to do certain things. I used to do it like hour by hour. I'd be like an hour of this, an hour of this, an hour of this. And then what you'd find is some tasks take longer than an hour, some tasks take shorter than an hour, and then it throws you off for the whole day. So now I do like time blocks instead, and that works a lot better for me because it means that I might have 3 hours to work on content, and that can be video content, written content, stories, like all sorts of different things, as opposed to being like, you know, write 2 pieces of content in this, you know, in this half an hour window. So yeah, it just takes a bit of getting used to, but I love it. I love it. I definitely prefer working from home and being in control of my schedule than working for other people and being told what your schedule is. So that is the sort of freedom and flexibility. However, it can be really, really easy to get distracted because you've got no one telling you what to do. So I would definitely say try to like stick to your diary commitments and work through your to-do list. I generally have one goal that I want to achieve at the end of each day. That's my priority, then anything else is a bonus. So yeah, we're gonna finish this off and then head back to the house for this afternoon. Here she is. This is my office for today. So this is Sophia. She's one of my clients, and we're just having a bit of a catch up, a check-in, seeing what's going on, and I'm excited to celebrate her wins because she's got a lot of wins from this week.
I do.
Woo! Let's do this, girl. Okay, so it's been, oh my gosh, it's been the craziest day. Lots of noise in the background, but I've got quite a lot done. I just had an amazing session with Sophia, who's one of my one-to-one clients, and just seeing her like achieve amazing things and get out of her comfort zone and just start to get into this rhythm of when you step out of your comfort zone, you almost create a new comfort zone, don't you? So her comfort zone initially was this big, and then now it's become this big, and then now it's getting this big, and it's just amazing to see that unfold. So it was a really, really good, inspiring call, and I'm excited to see sort of like how the next week looks with some of the little challenges and activities that I've given her to get on with. I've got a couple of client things that I'm going to do now. So I actually use the apps that I tend to use every day are sort of Slack, Zoom. I also use Notion, and that's where I host a lot of my sort of like video footage and things for my clients to be able to quickly access. And actually I'm going to be using Notion a little bit more because I'm going to start doing more content, like create all my content on there. So I'm actually doing a landing page, well, I'm doing 2 landing pages and 5 emails for a client at the moment. So I'm just kind of in the process of organising that. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what that looks like. Bear with. So as you can see, here's one of my clients' sort of content boards. And here, oh my God, all you can hear is, downstairs. But the way that this works is you kind of fill in your emails. This is the areas that are sort of ready for edit. I'll tweak things there, and then once it's done, I'll drag it over to edited, and then that's when they're all finished, and then when they're all complete. So it's good to kind of see where you're at in terms of progress with everything. But these are things that I need to start getting to work on today. Like the kind of bones of them are there, because my client's already kind of put them in place, and then I just need to tweak, edit, spruce them up, make them shiny and new and exciting, and we'll go from there. So that's, I've also got in here just some of the training for the girls to work through. So I'm going to do a little bit of Slack catch up with some chats that I've got open, and we will go from there.
We're going to need that. We're going to have to be brave. We're going to have to play with no fear. Get out of practice. We'll have so much talent. We'll give them the best opportunity to go and attack. Catch the ball.
So yeah, here we are, day in the life. So basically that's pretty much it. There's not really anything super exciting about day to day. I think that when I initially decided that I was going to start working from home and obviously start working, you know, freelancing and being able to work with different clients and stuff, I had this vision in my head that I was going to be able to go and work from like cute little coffee shops around London, obviously when I was living in London at the time, and you know, be able to go in like all these different hotels and resorts and travel. And literally, I think it was the second that I went full-time self-employed, we went into lockdown. So all of a sudden everyone was working from home, everyone was trapped at home, everyone was only allowed out, you know, for a little bit of each day. So it didn't quite meet my expectations. However, I found my groove with it. I found ways to make it fun. You know, I tend to have like my music on in the background and stuff, and obviously, like I said, each day is slightly different because I do crave a bit of variety as well. So, you know, as a whole, I love working from home and having that experience. However, it just isn't what I had imagined. And I think a lot of people, when they imagine life working from home, it's always going to feel a little bit more, or sound or seem a bit more glamorous than probably it really is in the day-to-day. But that's not to say that there aren't more glamorous times. Obviously, you guys will know that last year I went to Turkey, so I went over to Cappadocia, which is somewhere that I knew that I was going to fall in love with before I even went, and the place with all the gorgeous landscapes and hot air balloons and everything. So I went there and I didn't take time off work, so you know, I was able to work from there. So I worked for the week and I just had sort of like long weekends either side. And it was beautiful, you know, hooked up to the Wi-Fi of the Cave Hotel, sat there overlooking like the hot air balloons going up in the mornings, and then I'd see all these like the landscape, like the curvy sort of like fairy chimney landscape, and then on my lunch break I'd go out and have like a gorgeous like pottery kebab and, you know, walk around. And you know, that was me living that sort of, that having a taste of what I had wanted for the freelancer life. And that's not to say that still more of that can't come, but it's just that at the moment with lockdown, with the restrictions, it's just really difficult to have that sort of exciting side of freelance life. But watch this space, I'm sure there'll be plenty more trips to come. It's just that we are at a bit of a sort of stalemate at the moment with all of the green, red, amber lists and all that. And I guess the problem as well is that even when travel does start to come back, it is getting a little bit more expensive than it used to be, just because, you know, everyone's all of a sudden wanting to go to the green list places. So I guess it's just a sort of opportunity to sort of slow down, see where I really want to go next, and then yeah, get ready to go there hopefully when everything's just back on the green list and travel is normal again. So we shall see. But thanks so much for tuning in and having a little nosy at my day. Looking forward to just doing more daily vlogs. Like I used to only really do vlogs when I was traveling because I feel like that's what's really exciting. However, I am missing doing a few more vlogs, so I'll do some just about sort of little bits and bobs that I'm up to and keep you in the loop. But thanks so much guys, and I look forward to sharing more about sort of what goes on behind the scenes with you soon.